week's bundles, what do these have in common? A denial of change. Today, we're going to explore on how the legal field has piled up years and years of waste, how that has affected us all, and how we're going to move forward. So what is waste management? Waste implies unnecessary depletion of natural resources, unnecessary costs, and environmental damage.
Hey Mogi, do you know the ways of how legal profession has caused waste?
No. Can you please explain it to me?
Okay, so today we'll be discussing on the aspect of waste management in the legal profession. The legal fraternity encompasses of law firms,
Courts.
and law school.
There are also 3 forms of waste that we are going to explore today, which includes time,
Resources
and
money!
One of the problems in which the court wastes their time is on handling groundless appeals. For example, the appeal is lodged, however, there is no sufficient evidence to hold on the appeal. Such a move wasted judicial time and public money and hence delay cases that deserve to be reviewed. Moving on, cases are often to be delayed for various reasons. One of the reasons is when police forget to bring the accused to the court on the day. This caused the judge unable to carry on the case and has to wait till the police bring the accused to the court. Law firm, the third aspect of legal professions. In a law firm, waiting causes waste management. Waiting comes in many forms. For example, it often takes a longer time to get a signature from a boss or to wait for client to arrive to the office. Whatever it is, it recognizes that most of the burden is on the lawyer to reduce their own wait time.
Now, into the aspect of money waste. In law firms, the amount of money spent on excess resources are absurd. The amount of cash that the firm has to spend on paper, servicing of documents, filing needless motions, client meetings, and having to subscribe to various different platforms for legal researchers.
Aside from salaries and bonus, law firms spend thousands of ringgit recruiting and training, often paying for their exam preparation courses, moving expenses, and even for them to continue their legal education. So, when a lawyer walks out the door, the investment walks out with him.
Going into courts, court could also be seen to waste money by having to not only e-filing, they have their EFS system, but also by hand of mode of servicing of documents.
The need to spend on more paper, ink, postage charges and so on leads to backlog, causing more taxpayer money.
In addition to that, the prosecution centrics pushing towards prosecution would lead to influx of prisoners, causing more taxpayers' money. Lastly, law school. The amount of law students' money spent on the school is massive. For example, mooting. Mogi, what would you say about mooting that we spend a lot of money on?
For example, in mooting, students tend to spend money on printing countless sets of bundles.
The significant aspect of practice of law should have its focus on, firstly, of course, the voice on the client and the value of defect prevention over defect correction. Let's take a look into the aspect of resources waste. First, from the point of law firm. The type of waste that are collectively effect of law firm are firstly, influx of documents. This could be seen from the massive amount that are needed for filings, executions of documents to the relevant authorities, the trial cases and bundles of submission diaries to prepare. As for non-utilized talent, chambering people's talent are not maximized as they end up doing more clerical works. Lawyers are usually risk averse, so new technologies and ways of working are not usually within their comfort zone. For example, from our own experience that we've seen, some of the biggest difficulties in a recent transaction which are deployed technology solutions have been hampered by not being able for these lawyers to access the necessary skills. Next, court, another form of a legal fraternity. Here, there's inefficient ways of handling of cases that leads to backlog and waste of our resources. In terms of paperwork, documentations, for example, we already have an EFS system, which is an e-filing system that requires law firm lawyers to upload online the bundles of authority that they are to use. However, they still require us to send over to them by hand the hard copy version of those bundles. Another is case management. There's always the issue of overscheduling, backlog, having to drive over to many different states based on the case jurisdiction. Lastly, law school. A way of how law school have been wasting resources are first, mooting. The preparation of mooting is a tedious matter. On top of having to prepare a soft copy version of our submissions, we are also required to prepare a hard copy version, even up until 5 sets of bundles with hundreds of pages per set.
justice, and most importantly, productivity. Forests are being taken down at an exponential rate to cope with the increasing demand of paper needed. One would think that in today's technologically efficient society, we would have resorted to more efficient and environment-friendly alternatives. Next, another effect of wastage in the legal profession is denial of access to justice. This form of waste discussed is that of time. When time is wasted, be it due to the generosity of courts in granting postponements or something as trivial as being tardy, the resulting injustice is borne by those who come to these institutions seeking justice. For example, in India, the backlog issue has cost the parties instituting suits a great deal of turmoil. The implications are serious. Due to the backlog, most of India's prison population are detainees awaiting trial. Courts in Mumbai, India's financial hub, are clogged with decade-old land disputes, hindering the city's industrial development. And the pursuit of justice, ordinarily a costly endeavor, has only been made more expensive by chronic delays. As a result, India's legal system has increasingly become the preserve of the country's wealthy and well-connected, a development that exacerbates the discrimination already faced by India's minority and low-caste groups. In America, this issue is reflected in the backlogs in immigration courts due to President Trump's sweeping immigration reforms a couple of years ago. Further, denial of access to justice is also the consequence of rising cost of legal fees due to higher operation costs for lawyers.
I think they looked at me and saw dollar signs. They charged me for everything. $27,000 for trial transcripts, $23,000 for dinners, a car service for associates working late.
Seriously?
Higher operation costs could be attributed largely to increasing overheads, miscellaneous costs, and ineffectual transportation planning. These instances cause wastage of money, time, and other resources that form an integral part of our day-to-day operations in a law firm. Lastly, the greatest effect of wastage of time is decline in productivity. One of the main causes of diminished lawyer productivity is the exponential proliferation of their stored emails and documents and the associated inability to recall important work, product, and previous email communication.
And now we move on to how we solve the problem. One word, digitization. So we don't waste valuable skills and resources in human beings. At the moment, researchers have shown that there are plenty of ways for legal fraternities to digitize, and this is apparent in all three aspects of the legal fraternity: law firms, law schools, and as well the court systems. Are we maximizing these tools? When it comes down to it, courts, law firms, and law schools have refused to move from the era of paper to the era of digital forms. Courts still rely heavily on bundles when there are e-courts out there. Essentially, instead of carrying 7 to 10 bundles per trial, what courts can do is to ensure that there is a projected screen in courts where there is only one soft copy of whatever documents that is to be referred to, and such authorities are hyperlinked for ease of reference. That is how courts can be more effective. What about law schools? Law schools have mootings as well, and e-moot courts can be incorporated in the digitalization of law schools. Another way that courts can digitize is to ensure that case management happens in a more efficient and effective manner. This can be simply done online from any part of the country or world for that matter. Google Diary, Google Calendar, Google Docs is tools ready and available for us to ensure that our schedules are synced so that we save time and resources. Right now, chambering students are sent to court. However, if the secretaries of court and the secretaries of law firm coordinate their Google calendars, case management can be done much easier. And therefore, the courts and law firms have to look out for tools that ease this kind of processes. Now we move on to how law firms can digitize.